And then there were two. We are down to the last two teams. Kind of an improbable final, I guess. I mean, Florida, I guess, Florida was a machine all year. I mean, they were insane. I mean, they were so good. All playoff long, they were so good. They looked just amazing. And of course, you can't forget these guys. Not a lot of people gave them respect. Not a lot of people thought we figured, okay, they get out of the first round. That second round against Vancouver was it was harrowing. It was a great series. It was a fantastic series. They were down 3-2. They found a way to win. And it was incredible. It was a great comeback in that series, and they looked really, once they got down against Dallas, the Oilers looked really good. Really, really good. And so I thought, I'd do my own little preview of the Stanley Cup Final between two really good teams. One team playing for the pride of Canada. The other team, they've never won the Stanley Cup before. This is their second straight trip. Can they pull the Cody Rhodes and finish the story? We'll have to find out. That starts on Saturday, I believe. I think it starts on Saturday. And yeah, just an incredible series it's going to be. Of course, I have this on here. I need to make more magnets, because when it comes to the bigger logos like this, this is the only Panther one that I have. I don't have the current ones. So I have set up on my little Cricut design space there. I've got a whole bunch of different ones, and I was looking back, and I'm like, I need to make at least big ones for all the teams. At least one, if not a couple, of all the teams in the big magnets. And these are, at least I know with this one, because I have another Oilers one right here, an old, this was their older logo from the mid 2000s. This is a 4x4, 4-inch by 4-inch. So I need to at least make those in these sizes. I need to make them I need to make those bigger ones for all the teams. And there's a whole bunch of other ones that I need to make too. So I've stocked up on my magnet sheets down here, and I just gotta set it, get a little time to set up the Cricut and do it. But this is going to be a great series. I think this is going to be a fantastic series. And it's crazy. I mean, you look at the teams that Edmonton beat, nobody really thought that LA was going to give them a whole lot of trouble. And, and they didn't. Then they played Vancouver. And Vancouver was amazing. I mean, that series was really, really good. And I thought Vancouver was going to come out of that series. I really thought the Vancouver Canucks were going to come out of that series. They were looking amazing. But Edmonton in the end came through. And then the Dallas Stars, they played the Dallas Stars, and it was another really good series. I mean, I think a lot of people had Dallas favored. It was, and they got the job done. And they make this is their first Stanley Cup Final appearance since 2006. Back, oddly enough, when they had this particular logo. And one thing I used to love about this logo, I mean, the copper oil drop was always cool. But I always got a kick out of that red line. The red line going around it as an outline, I thought was fantastic. I always liked that logo. Always liked that version of that logo. I mean, I like the current one too. I've always liked the current one too, but that one was really good too. And then, of course, we move out east, and Florida Florida looked amazing. I mean, they looked amazing all playoff long. They took out Tampa Bay with virtual ease, really, in 5 games. Then they went and they dispatched Boston in 6. And then they took out the New York Rangers in 6. Now, one thing, even though that the Florida Rangers series, it went 6 games. They mostly, with the exception of game 1 of that series, they were all 1-goal games. 3 of those games went to overtime. Both Ranger wins came in overtime. Now, I got a chance to see both of these teams, in highlights and in game and all that. And watching that Florida Ranger series, if it's not for Igor Shesterkin, that series, I think, would have been over sooner, because Florida just ran their show. They looked so good. Florida looked amazing. And I think this final is going to be very intriguing too. You've got the Edmonton Oilers with Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Evander Kane. Really good team. Really, really good team. A team that is basically playing for, they're playing for the entire country of Canada, even though there's a bunch of people in Canada. Unfortunately, I seem to see they're mostly Leaf fans. Again, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL. They can't be happy for any other Canadian team. There's a Canadian team that has a chance to win the Stanley Cup for the first time and bring the Stanley Cup back to Canada for the first time since 1993, and they're not happy. They're not happy because it's not their team. I mean, I get it. You want your team to win. But when your team is basically the Dallas Cowboys of the National Hockey League, where, you go and you talk a great game, and then you can't back it up in the postseason, it's crazy. That's where I'm seeing most of the, we don't really want, we're not going to cheer for the Oilers because, it's not our team. I mean, I would expect to maybe see that from Calgary fans. I haven't seen a whole lot of fans of the Calgary Flames come out and say, yeah, no, we're not cheering for the Oilers. No, it's Leaf fans. I don't get it. But the Oilers have a chance to do something that has not been done by a Canadian team since 1993. And yeah, and there's a good chunk of Canada that's up in arms about it. But, it kind of happens, I guess. And, and the Oilers are they're gonna have a hell of a chance. They're gonna have a good chance. The Florida Panthers, with this second straight trip to the Stanley Cup Final, this marks 5 years in a row that the state of Florida represents the Eastern Conference in the Stanley Cup Final. The state of Florida, which you really wouldn't think it'd be a hockey hotbed, because, it gets hot in Florida, especially in the summertime. It gets hot. I've been down there a couple times in the summertime. It is ungodly hot. It is like 99 degrees with like 99 humidity and like no wind hardly whatsoever. It is hot down there in the summertime. They sure know how to keep ice down there, though, because they've been playing in June a lot. They've been playing in the summertime a lot the last 5 years. And this does include the COVID season, because the Tampa Bay Lightning that year, I mean, yeah, they weren't, I mean, I guess you can't really say it because they weren't playing in Florida that year. They were playing in Toronto and Edmonton when they won that cup in 2020 in the bubble. So, I mean, I guess you can say the last 4 years, I guess. So, but I mean, it's hot in Florida in the summertime. And, you know, the Lightning and the Panthers, you know, they rule the Eastern Conference. And I've mulled over this because I'm like, who wins? And I'd love to know what you guys have. Who do you have? Who do you think wins the Stanley Cup, and in how many games? When I did my playoff prediction video, and of course I look back on that now and I'm like, why in the hell did I ever doubt the Florida Panthers? Only one series I got wrong, and that was I had the Rangers beating the Panthers in the Eastern Conference Final. What the hell was I thinking? I don't know. But in that video, it got down to the final. I had the Oilers beating the New York Rangers in the Stanley Cup. So I had the Oilers over the Rangers to win the Stanley Cup. Now, this is the Oilers against the Panthers. Now, some people would think, are you going to stick? You know, are you sticking with that? Are you sticking with that guess? And watching these two teams, I'd love to stay with my guess. I can't. I have the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup in 6 games. This Panther team is just an absolute. I mean, they're a machine right now. They literally have basically ran through everybody. They took out the President's Trophy winning New York Rangers. I mean, yes, they won it. Yes, it took 6 games. They were all 1-goal games with the exception of game 1. But if you look at the way both teams played, the Rangers, they were beaten down. They were battered. The Panthers just ran them out of the building in damn near every game, with the exception of the scoreboard. Except on the scoreboard. Because Igor Shesterkin is one of the best goaltenders in the world. And without Igor Shesterkin, the Rangers might not have even won a game in that series the way Florida was playing, if Igor was not being Igor. And Stuart Skinner for the Oilers is going to have to be he's going to have to be absolutely amazing in this series. This Panther team is so good. They are so talented. They have an all-world goaltender themselves in Sergei Bobrovsky. This is a Panther team that just looks this. You know, you want to talk about a team that might be destined to win. Florida Panthers. They could be that team. You could say that about the Edmonton Oilers too, because they have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evander Kane, Zach Hyman. I mean, all stars on that Oilers team. But can they keep up with the physicality that the Florida Panthers are going to bring? Because they are going to bring it. And this series is going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible to watch. I plan on DVRing it. I think the DVR might already be set because I think it's set to record like new episodes of the finals. So I think it might already be set. I will have to look. But it's been a great run for both teams. I think Florida gets it done. I hate going back on what my prediction video had, because I did have the Oilers beating the Rangers. If I would have put the Panthers instead of the Rangers in that prediction video in the final, I would add Florida. And I have Florida winning in 6. Is it possible it goes all 7 games? Oh, yeah. Is it possible it only goes 4 or 5? No. This series is going at least 6, I think, because these are 2 really, really good teams. And I think the Panthers might be just a little bit too much for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, let me know why I'm wrong. Let me know why I'm wrong in the comment section. But let me know who you got. You got the Oilers, you got the Panthers, which one wins, and in how many games. Hit that like button. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, hit that subscribe button. I would love you forever. And, if you want to share this video or any other video on the channel, go right ahead. I enjoy shares. Helps get the channel out to the masses. And yeah, I look forward to what should be an incredible Stanley Cup Final. 2 teams that deserve to be there. Both of these jerseys, even though one of them's going to lose, I think I might get 2 finals patches and put them both on these. Just because. This is going to be a hell of a final. It's going to be a really, really good series. And I think the Panthers get the job done. Again, let me know why I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section who you got and in how many games. And again, hit like and subscribe and share as much as you want. And I will see you guys soon.